Going live. Hey, what is going on, YouTube and Weight Loss Warriors? It's your boy C Dub, and I'm live. So I just wanted to hit you guys up real quick and say what's happening. And as people start to pile in, we'll start to get into your questions and your different stuff. But I caught an interesting topic this morning, and so I wanted to kind of briefly start with that. What's going on, John? Thanks for joining me, man. I kind of wanted to briefly hop on here and talk about that subject as people start to pile in, kind of give it something interesting to talk about. And I don't know how much you guys are up to date with um, the Impossible Burger and man-made meats, and this is something that's coming on the horizon. And I know I've got at least one super loyal subscriber that is a vegan, but a lot of other people are getting into the vegan. Hey, just talking about you right now. This is a topic I need so badly for you to be on Tattoo Vegan, because it's very important. So I want to talk about the Impossible Burger, and I want to talk about man-made meat and kind of the direction of that, because I caught a little glimpse this morning of something, and it got me to do some research today, and I was a little confused as to a lot of it, and kind of blew my mind. So for those of you that don't, it's junk food. I was kind of hoping you'd say that. If you don't know what the Impossible Burger is, Burger King came up with a plant-made hamburger that's supposed to taste just as good as the Whopper, but be much, much more healthy for you. And so on the surface, that sounds like a wonderful thing, right? For all of us vegans that, are out there that don't want to subscribe to hurting animals and want to help the environment, but miss hamburgers, have this, now they have this hamburger they can go pick up with Burger King. But the problem is when they ran testing on this hamburger, what ended up happening was the rats ended up developing all kinds of problems that they just ignored, which is really interesting. And they said, oh, well, there's no health risks, that these were actually rats that were being, tested on, not people. And they tried to use that as an excuse, just like people use when intermittent fasting results show up great in rats. They say, well, they're rats, not people. But the Impossible Burger actually showed all kinds of bad markers to the rat's health. And then they got rid of the rats. They didn't let the rats live their lifespan, which PETA got all upset about too. They got rid of the rats because it looked like the rats were going towards a direction of things like cancer, which is an interesting topic. And the reason all this is interesting, the reason I wanted to, just hop on here and talk about it, one, I really wanted Tattoo Vegan's response to what she thought about it, but also I wanted to just say to everybody that ultimately speaking, when man makes food, it's not as good as when nature makes food. And we mess this part up all the time. I just saw a guy the other day talking about, it was on Joe Rogan's podcast. Joe Rogan was talking about vegans, which he's not, in the most support of, but he was talking to somebody that is a plant-based vegan person. And the person said, well, look, here's a million different ways to do it and ways to do it healthy. And people don't really realize that there are ways to get anything done in a healthy way where you don't have to risk it. But going about doing things man-made is never as good. And so what I mean by that, though, is like genetically engineering things, like taking butter and saying, okay, well, butter's bad for you because it's high in fat and yada, yada, yada. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this margarine thing. And what that ultimately is they have adjusted, they've gone in as man and adjusted the genetics of the food to cut out certain things. And whenever they do that, our bodies aren't used to processing those things. So if you think about like even milk and the way that milk is, and we've been drinking milk for a long time, the more things we have to do to the milk, the more unhealthy we end up making it, because our bodies are not used to taking it over and over and over again. And the same thing goes with this Impossible Burger. And I know the chat's flying by, and I'm going to get to the chat in a second, but I just wanted to bring this to your attention that we literally have a man-made plant hamburger that is better for the environment than a lot of the things that we have to go through when we process meats and do things like that. But that doesn't mean it's better for you. And that's an issue that a lot of people don't know. And if you look at the studies, and I'll link the study that I'm talking about in this description after this thing, after I get off here tonight, about a half an hour later, it'll post on YouTube. And I will link in the description the study that I'm talking about and let you see that they just ignored facts. They ignored serious health risks so that they could push a burger out there on the public. And we really don't know the long-term effects of that burger. But it's not just there. There's a documentary on Netflix right now talking about different meats that they're creating in labs. So these aren't animals that nature put on the planet that we've been eating for a very long time. These are making meat in a lab and then saying, well, we're doing it in a healthier way than the actual meat that was, whether it was intended for human or not, humans have been eating it for a long time. So we've adjusted to it. It really doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to catch up on the chat real quick. Make sure we start hitting that like a little bit, guys. I got 5 of them up there. It's making me sad. I'd like to see more of it. I'd also like to hear your thoughts on the Impossible Burger. Has anybody eaten it here? What do you guys think about it? How do you feel like, it is? JC, it's nice to hear that you're plant-based too. I think it's definitely something you can do. Hey, Dominique and Rose, good to see you guys. Let's see, Elite Magic Mark. When does the healthy alternative video? My question is, Santa Cruz and lemon juice. What question about that? And when does the healthy alternative make a video? I don't know when healthy alternative does. The one with me, they've already done. You can look that up. It's already there. I don't really understand the question. Try to rephrase it so I get it better. Well, the Impossible Burger, I don't even know, man. It's just, a healthy bean burger. I saw a doctor actually come on that was a plant-based doctor on another thing when I started researching this today, and he was talking about it. And he actually said that he thought that the Impossible Burger was better for the environment, as he put it, but worse for you. And he said that it also, he felt, didn't taste well. And he said there was plenty of other like bean-based vegetarian and vegan burgers that were much better than some of the other ones. So what's happening, Norma? Good to see you. Caroline, always good to have you in the house. And my man Randy, good to see you. What's been going on? How can you trust Freedom? How can you trust lab meat? It goes back to just like margarine. We were sold that margarine was better for you, and now it's turning out that maybe butter isn't as bad as everybody thought it was, and margarine is bad. And if you think about it, everything we do man-made just doesn't seem to be healthy for you in the long term and for the overall. And I'm not at all trying to say I'm holier than thou. If you want an Impossible Burger, eat an Impossible Burger. But what I am trying to say is there is probably a risk in eating that, and it may not even be as healthy as a regular hamburger, and it could cause other issues that we don't even know about because it was causing them in rats, which, it's funny that they do studies in rats. Like I mentioned this a second ago, but they'll do a study in a rat and it proves something in intermittent fasting and they will disregard it. And then they do a study in a rat and it shows something they don't want to happen. They disregard that. And they just pick and choose what they will use and what they won't use to better sell their product. I mean, at the end of the day, it's really, really a sad situation. I also want to talk to you about something else that I thought of today. For those of you that struggle with OMAD and kind of a reason why you might, and something we can do to work around that. I'm using our brains a little bit, but let me hit up here for a second and see. You don't usually eat fast food. I'd never eat some fast food, but you did taste it. You didn't like eating the whole thing. We'll see. There you go. Ain't nothing wrong with trying it. Nothing wrong with trying it. Hey, thank you. I'm going to try to keep up the good work there, Evil Ash. And if that's Ash as an Ash Ketchum, you're my homie. But but any which way, or Evil Dead too. That was also good, man. Good stuff. But anyways, it tastes like a Whopper. You haven't eaten one in like 20 years. Yeah, and I haven't eaten a Whopper in a long time, about 10 probably, but and I never really was a Whopper person anyways, but I always preferred McDonald's. I hate to say that over Burger King, but it is what it is. We're glad to have you tonight, Laura. Thank you for being in. So yeah, it is. It's scary that we sell stuff, for money, and we don't really take the the time to really ultimately care about. And I mean, I guess it's been since the beginning of time. It isn't like a new thing. I mean, since humans have been on the earth, we'll use other humans to try to get, somewhere bigger or better for us. And that's a sad situation to be in. But at this stage in 2019, you think we would have learned that, profits aren't as important as health, and I just don't know if we've gotten that message. We're out here, still doing it. So, and it's all processed foods. It really is. And you're right, Laura. Turn away from all processed foods. I 100% agree with you. Where's my Halloween costume? I got a Pikachu costume in the other closet. If you guys get me up to, I don't know how many likes, guys. What, 50 likes tonight? I'll go put the Pikachu costume on and come sit down. You guys can see me in a full onesie. It's a little big because I got it when I was overweight, but I was thinking about wearing it to work tomorrow because they did say we could wear costumes, but I don't know about that. Though at 50 likes, though, catch me in a Pikachu costume. Now you have to look at my blank screen for a minute while I put it on, but I'll do it. So, hey Zeb, hey, I like the new name. I dig it. Appreciate it, man. Glad to see you here, and you just reminded me jiu-jitsu's been going well for my two boys. They've been doing well in their jiu-jitsu practices. They're getting better. So, that's good to see. So you're dressing up as Luigi. Who's Mario? Is your husband going to be Mario? I got Luigi. My boys got Luigi, Mario, and Toadstool costumes from the past. Eating only one meal a day. We need to be careful not to eat too much junk food. Absolutely. And that's one thing you can also comment on too, Tattoo Vegan, because I think a lot of times in the vegan community, people will call themselves vegan and they won't eat meat and they'll do all that, but they don't mind getting the majority of their diet through like Oreos and Doritos and, stuff like that, and not real whole foods. And so I don't know that that's any healthier than anything else. It doesn't seem like it's, necessarily the right thing to do. My uncle popped in, guys. Say what's up to him. Uncle Tom down there. You see him? Bam, right there. So, hey, Uncle, good to see you. Let's see here. So the other thing I wanted to talk to you about is a really interesting concept. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of, I think it's Brit Fitness, Bricks Fitness, the popular YouTube channel. He lost a bunch of weight. He's an intermittent faster and weightlifter, real ripped guy. Has a good channel, and he popped up in my feed today, and occasionally I'll catch a couple of his videos. And he was talking about something that I thought might be something. Hey, Reg, thanks for joining me. I appreciate you. You guys know I love Reg over there. So if you haven't ever checked her channel, check her channel out. Reg is the lady. So you guys definitely got to check that out. But what he was talking about intermittent fasting, and he was saying that he's experimented with working out fasted, and he's experimented with different things, and he's tried to do a lot of warrior, and he's working that kind of stuff, but he struggles in the fact that if he lifts weights, he has to eat directly after it. So if he's going to the gym at like 3:00 in the afternoon, he has to eat at 4, and he doesn't have his dinner until like 7, let's say. So he's extending his window longer than he wants to extend it. And the fact that he starts eating when he stops lifting, and he can't stop eating till after his dinner's over with. So he's getting in too many calories from what he wants to do, from his goals. So what he started doing was he started eating a very small 200 to 300 calorie meal before working out. And that allows him to not eat after working out. And it allows him to hold off until his mealtime starts. So he ends up eating in a 4-hour, maybe a 6-hour window, but he's only eating a very small meal and then a little meal. So it's kind of OMAD, but he's having like a snack and then an OMAD dinner. And the snack is holding him over through weightlifting. And a lot of you, I also lift weights when I do fasted. And I always plan it to right before I eat dinner, because the second I finish lifting weights, I am ready to eat. I am starving. I cannot wait to put food in my body. And that's because your body wants to repair its muscle. But what he was trying to say is by having a little food intake prior to hitting the weights, that holds him over to where when he's done, he doesn't feel so ready to eat. So I was thinking, I know a few people struggle on the channel with doing OMAD, and I was wondering if you're struggling with exercising before you eat in the same kind of situation as him, it may be smart for a while to do what he's doing and having that small kind of meal. Yes, like a 1.5. Yes, just like Nicole used to. You're 100% right, JC. That 1.5 kind of meal where you're eating something of very little, almost a snack prior to your exercise, and then that's allowing you to sustain OMAD. If you're going to go that route, I would suggest a couple things. One, try to do it in a 4-hour window or a 6-hour window. Don't do it in an 8-hour window. There's no sense in spiking your insulin 8 hours before your or 7 hours before your dinner and then not letting it get all the way back down and then eating dinner and bringing it back up. If you're eating a very little meal, you're going to be able to create a much smaller insulin spike and get back to baseline through your workout and then be able to get your meal in later. And another thing to think of too is if you do it, and you guys know I don't sell any particular diet, I'm not into that. But if you do take your meal and you eat a fat kind of based protein snack, then like a keto-ish or a no carb snack before you lift, your insulin levels won't go too high and you can continue to burn and fat burning through your weightlifting, but you put enough food in you to kind of hack your system and make you feel a little bit better and hold you over until your regular standard OMAD meal. And if you have carbs in your OMAD meal, of course, you're going to spike the blood sugar, but overnight it'll go down and you'll be good to go in the morning. So ultimately speaking, it's just a small hack. I'm still always going to be an OMAD person. I'm going to always say OMAD is superior for me personally. But if you struggle with it a little bit, trying to shrink your window down to 6 and having kind of that snack beforehand and then a solid meal may be something. You guys can drop me some thoughts about what you think about that, but it may be something that can get you held over into the next cycle. And by the way, I don't know if my Uncle Tom is still around or if he just popped in, but if Uncle Tom is around, he just did his first, I can't remember if he did 48 hours. I think he did his first 48-hour fast. So, we can, if he's here, ask how that went. I know he wanted to get some autophagy benefits going on. So he wanted to take his fast a little bit longer. So it'd be interesting to hear his comments on how he felt his 48-hour fast went. Yeah, there it is, 48 hours hard. But you made it through, right? Made it through, right? So that's good stuff. And it shows you again, you're not that he's an old man, but he's a little older than me and never too old to get into the fasting. He's killing it. Also, I think he told me his weight was 25 pounds down and he only started at 75. So I think this is a guy that weighed 175, saw the success I was having intermittent fasting, started intermittent fasting, and now is down to 150 pounds, which is as light as he's been his whole adult life and is feeling great, cholesterol back to normal, and just completed his first 48-hour fast. So, Tom's killing it, guys. So appreciate him. I appreciate, him actually having faith and seeing what I did and having an open mind. Think about how many people in your family see what the success you're having and still ignore it. And they say you're wrong and you're starving. That's not my uncle. He was like, you know what? I'm ready to try this. And not only did he try it, he crushed it. So probably added a lot of years to his life. So I'm proud of my uncle. So show him some love over there. Sure, a snack to get through it. Yeah, I agree, Reg. I mean, especially, and you don't have to keep doing that, FYI, too. If you have that small snack and you're working out and then you're eating, if you feel like you're getting to a point where you're used to it, you can cut that snack out and just get through the workout and then eat. And then you could also just eat and then go work out too. So you can save it that way if that's the way that you want to be able to get through it. So, all right, Zeb, try to open an early morning training, even though you were hungry, you go to sleep anyways. Yeah, well, that's, going to sleep hungry is fine, man, because you never wake up hungry. You know what I mean? A lot of times I think we underestimate the ability to eat at a good hour to where by the time you go to bed, you might want to eat again, but you're going to bed. So you just go to bed. It definitely works out. So you did your first 48-hour fast this week. Congrats, John. I hope it went well. Let us know down below how yours went, John. And Tom, one other thing to think of too, that we're talking about 48-hour fast, that him at 150 pounds is going to be harder to do a 48-hour fast than it will be for somebody that's like 300 plus pounds. So, I understand it was hard, Tom, but it was good. It was definitely good for your brain, I think. Um, so you're doing a 72 hour now, man. That's great, Randy, man. You're killing it. Killing it, guys. Randy's lost more weight than me now, I believe. Randy, you can drop how much you've lost down below, but I think Randy's about 4 and OMAD is only 1 meal a day. So that's just the main difference there. It's simple. I mean, some people can do OMAD and extend it to a 2 hour window. Most people eat within an hour, and some people can eat as low as a half an hour. But OMAD's eating once, Warrior's eating twice within 4 hours. So you're going to eat at like, let's say 2, and then you're going to eat again at 6. And it's not really an excuse to eat for 4 hours, but it's that kind of way. So 150 now. I told you I'm good with my weights. Look at that. First 36 hours were easy. I think it's always the first, little bits easy, but it's good that you did it. I'm glad you got some autophagy there, Tom. Good stuff. So, yeah, my wife answered the question for me. Thank you, Michelle. Fasting for 30 hours, about 60 are the hardest, in my opinion. I think if you stay busy, it's okay. But it is what it is. I think I think for me, I did 72 pretty easy. I kind of want to do a long term fast. You guys let me know just for fun. Sometime maybe during my wrestling season when I'm really busy. Not for fun, but just for health and whatever else. Going past 72 hours. I don't know how long. I wouldn't go like fasting fat man style, but just maybe 4 days, something like that, and see how I felt and see what's going on. 135 pounds down. Randy, you are the man. Much love to Randy for the 135, man. That's getting work done. You're still trying to do a 72-hour fast at the moment. You're only 16 hours in. Zeb, just keep at it, man. And don't feel like if you end up cutting it short of 72, don't feel like, that's a failure. Just continue to roll with it and continue to try to improve. And over time, Zeb, you'll be able to get it down. But, making the leap is good, and I'm sure you'll be able to get through the first bit pretty easily. It'll get tough. I was ready to eat when I did my 72-hour ones. I was ready to eat at 72. That's for sure. 29 people watching and only one like. Hit that like button. Yeah, I hear you. It's actually 15 over here on the like for me, but I could use some more. That's for sure. I said 50 and I will put on a Pikachu. But I don't know. It's not looking good. But yeah. So, anyways, you notice that your phone is 72 hours fast is excellent for anyone to do. I totally agree with you, Reg. It is excellent to do. By the way, we've booked our place, Reg, at in Vegas in July. So June, July, yeah, July this coming up year. So I'll be hanging out, which is good stuff down there with Reg. And it's going to be really interesting because I'm going to have a lot of pictures too about my last trip to Vegas because that was I was a month into intermittent fasting. So those pictures, I was rather large. And one of the pictures I really look forward to doing when I'm in Vegas is taking a picture down at I don't even know what it's a bunch of rocks. Maybe Reg can help me out, but it's a bunch of rocks they stacked up and painted, some artist out there. And it's an amazing monument, but these rocks are really high and they're all painted in different colors. There's a picture of me standing with my 2 boys there, and I'm just huge. I mean, I'm just absolutely huge. And I can't wait to take a picture in front of those rocks with my 2 sons to see the big difference in how I am now versus then. You're on day 4 of OMAD and down 5 pounds this morning. That's what I'm talking about, Chubby Cop. Congratulations. Keep on grinding on it. Just keep in mind that, if you're doing those daily weigh-ins, you may have some up gains, but it's the overall loss of the week that matters. So keep that in mind because I know sometimes it gets frustrating when you're doing daily weigh-ins. So JC, you said you mean when you mean long-term fast, you mean like 30 hours is the hardest. After that, it gets easy. Yeah, probably. I've only done a couple of 72s. And like I said, I think I'm going to go long term, probably this wrestling season. just to test myself because I do get really busy in there. And then not only test myself, but again, autophagy. I think doing 72 hours 4 times a year is a very smart move to do because it just resets your body. It helps you break the food addictions. And more importantly than anything, it gives you some deep autophagy. So, I definitely look forward to getting one of those in. No doubt about it. Um, you can't lime on live. I don't know what that means, Melissa. I can't wait to do. We can do the Vegas strip collab. Absolutely, yeah. No, I'm sure we're gonna definitely do some collabs while I'm down there. No doubt about it. We could even do a live. Imagine that if we can sit down together somewhere, Reg, and we can both be live. You can be live on your channel, and I can be live on my channel at the exact same time with each other, asking each other questions and doing a Q&A. I could be sitting live with your audience, and you can be sitting live with my audience. We can do a lot of cool stuff. In just a couple of hours down there. So it's going to be pretty cool. I definitely am looking forward to it. Plus, Vegas is my second favorite place in the world next to where I live right now. If I had to live anywhere else, Las Vegas would be where I'd want to be. I love it down there. I don't know why, I just do. Always have. Not even really into gambling, not even into a lot of the stuff, but I do think that, for some reason, Vegas is I think just because I don't have my circadian rhythm has always been off my whole life a little bit. And so I feel better at night than I do during the day a lot. And so Las Vegas, it's like there's nothing wrong with their time can be flipped on its head. Time is irrelevant there, and so I think that really makes me feel better to know that there's still things happening at all times. I think definitely helps me out. So, next weigh in is in 9 days. Yeah, that's a good idea. Weigh in every once in a while. It's definitely a better way to go. Do you think being 68 years old might make, of course, Tom, I think, well, Tom, you know what I think makes the hardest part of your fasting? Isn't that you're 68? I think it's that you're 150 pounds. So basically for those people that don't know, when you're fasting, your body's obviously going to break down your body fat. And when you are overweight or obese or morbidly obese, it's much easier to get energy from that. But when you are in a situation where you are closer to your natural weight, it's harder for your body to give up that fat. So your body does not want to because it wants to hold on to fat just in case you're starving one day. So your body's always going to be reluctant to give up fat when it doesn't have a lot of it. And Tom, you just don't have a lot of it anymore. So yes, your body's going to be a little bit tougher to break down, but it's also your first 48-hour fast. So I think that plays into it too. And a lot of it is mental. So I think over time, if you do another one and another one, you'll be okay. But I do think you need to, you're okay. I would say. So I wouldn't worry about it. I do think 70, 67, 68, Lord, plays a little part in it. But more importantly, I think 150 pounds plays a big part of it. And I know Reggie's been doing a lot of fasting too, and she's smaller. Maybe ask her when she was a little bit heavier because she's lost a little bit of weight there. And when she was a little heavier, I bet she would tell you it was a little easier too. You're freezing up in Canada. I'm going to tell you what, man, I'm freezing out in Williamsburg, Virginia. I don't even know that the one negative thing about my weight loss is being cold all the time. I'm absolutely cold. It's day 3, long enough to start autophagy. Yes. Day in 3 days is long enough, especially if you are doing some kind of lower carb diet going into it. But realistically, by 48 hours, you have washed all of the, whatever you want to call it out of your system, and you're getting autophagy. And some people can hit it a lot quicker. You can get in there in around 24 hours, but 72 hours, 100%, you went deep into autophagy. Matter of fact, your autophagy benefits start to taper down after it peaks about 72 and starts to go the other direction. And so the longer you go, the less autophagy benefits you have. You don't stay with autophagy. A lot of people think you do, but once you cross a certain barrier of time, autophagy stops to really push it as much. It's always still there a little bit, but it's not quite as strong as before. Still, okay, let's see here. Can't find Oh, you can't find the like button when I'm live. Well, that I don't like the sound of that, man. Somebody gotta come in there and install the like button. It's right there. Well, you can't see it. I don't know how you click it, but mine's right there. But hey boss lady, good to see you. Um oh yeah, phone is definitely different. I believe autophagy starts at the 20-hour mark. Yeah, I think it can start in the 20-hour mark for sure. Um 20 24 hours in that range, but if you go a little bit longer, you get into it. And I think that's where a lot of people have some struggles there. So appreciate all you guys trying to help her out. How far over 48 hours have you gone? You got to run. Thanks, Reggie. It's good to see you. Hey, what's going on, man? Good to see you. The OMAD fan, man. Hey, good to see you, Oni, man. Appreciate you. Um, hey, Tad, what's happening? So, okay, 72 hours was your max. Yeah, me too right now, but I think I'd like to break that. So let's think about November and maybe getting into a little bit longer one. All right, so as you guys have now trickled in, if you do got questions, throw it up there. Um, you know, uh, Arthritis, I think it can be helped with autophagy. I think that I don't know that it'll be cured by autophagy, but I think that what happens, so arthritis ultimately is going to flare up more with inflammation, and inflammation is going to be helped through intermittent fasting, as you already know. And so your intermittent fasting should help arthritis already. I think that going on a long term fast will take a lot of the inflammation completely away. And I think after you've passed that threshold of 48 hours or so, I think you'll notice that you don't feel your arthritis as much. And it'll continue to be that way until you eat again. And then when you eat again, you'll probably be fine for a day or two. But once you reintroduce food, the food will start to make it a little, go in there and inflame it a little bit. But I think that adding in a 48-hour fast can keep it a little more in check. I know that personally, my knee had a lot of arthritis in it, and it seems to have been pretty much gone now. Because one, I did have a great knee surgery, which was amazing, my last one, but I also think that doing OMAD day in and day out has helped it tremendously. So I don't know that it's going to fix arthritis, but I do think that doing it will help it. And I think that, let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, it was bothering you at a 5. I think if you went on a long term fast, you could get it down to a 3. I don't know if you'll ever get it gone. And during the long term fast, it may be a 1. But once you reintroduce food, it'll go back to a 3. And then if it starts to escalate back up to a 4 or 5 again, just go on another long term fast. And I think you could keep it in check that way for a while. Yeah, John, listen, I told you before, and anybody that doesn't know, one of the big beliefs that I have in what helped me in my OMAD was doing it 6 days a week and not 7. So I ate, Sunday night, and at 6 o'clock, it was when I made my cut off the window, and then I didn't eat again until Tuesday 6. And it was actually more like 5 and 5, but you get the point. And so that skipping Monday gave me a 48-hour fast in every week. And then I ate one meal the rest of the days. And I'm going to tell you, if I got busy sometimes on that Friday coaching or something, I might skip that one too. So it might have been 5 OMAD meals in a week. And that really helped me crush the weight loss. Absolutely helped me crush the weight loss. And I got used to it. I knew Monday was coming. I knew what needed to be done. And so I was able to get that done. So hold on, I got it. One that's making me look at it, and I have to read it to see if it's okay to post. I don't know why, but hello, I'm a new subscriber. Great story, your inspiration. What is your opinion on eating fruit? Okay, I don't know. I didn't mean to hit. Hold on. I don't know why that was a bad post. I'm gonna get to that in a minute, Mr. Gomez. I have no idea why they put that as a bad post. Maybe I'll take a look and try to figure it out as a minute. But YouTube didn't like your post for some reason. All right. Let's see here. Randy, eye doctor says your eyesight is better. Wow, that's awesome. Um, What's funny, Randy, is I don't have an answer to that, but I had another person reach out to me and say they felt their eyesight was better and they wanted to know if fasting was the reason why. Out of all of the research I've done, I've never seen it before, but you're the second person that's brought it up. So I wouldn't doubt that your body can fix things, and maybe it did do a little work on your eyes. It's very rare that eyesight gets better. So, it's an interesting thing and something to keep your eye on. No pun intended there, big guy. Or pun intended. All right, DB, you've never gone more than 24 hours. Not sure a longer fast is necessary. Well, it's not necessary, DB. It's definitely not necessary. The only thing is you can get some autophagy, but if you're not going to 24 hours out, you're doing fine. And don't feel pressured to do something like that. If you're not comfortable doing it, don't do it. It's really that simple. You don't think your weight has much to do with it, and it could be different body types. You don't lose much more. That's after 48. Yeah, absolutely. I think OMAD made my eyesight better. It probably did, man. It probably did. Okay, so you're a new subscriber. Well, first of all, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate you. Thank you for calling me an inspiration. That's what I'm here to do, hopefully, is to do some inspiring. So, what is my opinion on eating fruit? How many keto experts say not to eat fruit since fructose? Yeah, okay, listen, man. This one is my pet peeve. And I don't know if Tattoo Vegan is still here, but I feel like she's gonna start commenting too here. Dude, eat as much fruit and vegetables as you want. Like, I don't buy into fruits and vegetables as ever being a problem. Number one, fruit has very high fiber most of the time. And so if it has high fiber, the fiber kind of reacts the fructose and it evens itself out and it's better for you. It's not man-made sugar. It's real natural sugar that we've been eating since we've been on the planet Earth. All people have always eaten fruits and vegetables. They've always been available to us. Every culture, our bodies have evolved to do it. I don't think that is an issue in a diet. Now, you can still do keto and you can still do fruits and vegetables, and you don't have to necessarily fit into the typical keto box. This is something else that drives me crazy too. So let's say you want to keep awareness that you want to stay away from carbohydrates like bread and like pasta, and you want to keep that stuff out of your life because it's not really of a great benefit to you. But you want to eat fruits and vegetables and you want to keep your fats going high and you want to keep your protein up. You can do that without micromanaging it and still keep in ketosis and still do a good job. And your fruits don't really spike insulin that much. I don't think they're going to cause any major issues with fatty livers. I think that keto people can take it to the extreme like anyone else can take it to the extreme in a diet. And I think saying that fruits and vegetables should be like, well, stay away from that. You'll hear a lot of, there are keto based people that are fruits and vegetable people, and they'll tell you too that, they agree with me that just get out there and eat, eat the stuff that if you eat what comes from planet Earth, you're going to be fine. I'll just put it to you that way. So, you would have never thought in a million years that you would attempt to eat OMAD. Well, hey man, look, I didn't even know what OMAD was, and then on top of not knowing what it was, I would have said, yeah, I can't do it either. But now I can't imagine eating any other way. I don't know how you feel, man, but I'm OMAD till they put me in the box. It's just the way it is, man. There's just no other thing for me right now. You also have a friend that's 5'4" and 100 pounds, maybe, and she did a 7-day fast and went fine for her. Your friend is a G. Wow, congratulations to her. That is a tough lady. I mean, I'm glad it went fine for her, but wow, she's tough. She's tough because if you're 5'4" and 100 pounds, you don't have a whole lot of body fat, and that is one tough lady. But again, your body can adjust to it. And what's great about that situation is your body still doesn't go to muscle like a lot of people think it would. It'll go to the bad cells first. So that woman had everything that was bad in her body getting attacked, and that's a huge benefit. So more power to her, man. She did an outstanding job. I definitely wouldn't do it all the time if I was 100 pounds, but doing it once in a while again is always good. One thing to do extended fast, make sure You eat, yeah, look, you got to make, if you're going to do an extended fast, you want to eat right going in and you want to eat right going out and you want to keep your electrolytes during. Those are three key things. If you go from eating really good to not so much, it can put some damage on you, no doubt about it. So you want to make sure you're doing the right things. If you go straight out of, if you go 7 day fast and you eat like something bad for you, you're going to really be hurting. You need to make sure you're breaking that fast in the right kind of way. So that's just something to think about. Don't sweat it, vape, man. We'll catch you up, and you can always watch the replay, man. It's not the end of the world. We still love you, brother. It's all good. You might be better eyesight because of less blood sugar. Yeah, I mean that could be it too. Steven, the OMAD man, said his eyes got better. Hey, it could happen. You've been doing keto for 2 years and you started eating berries with Greek yogurt. You started doing OMAD because of you. Thanks again. Hey, thank you, man. How's OMAD going for you? Do you feel better at it? Do you feel like it's going right? I'm glad to hear you're giving OMAD a shot. I think it's amazing. I think it's going to help you out a lot, man. You don't want to step on anybody's toes, but eat real food, period. Yeah, no, I kind of feel the same way. Here you are, real quick, just to make this point. Here you are with somebody that eats a plant-based diet, that doesn't eat animals, that has a completely different philosophy in life than I have sitting here today as somebody that eats meat. That, not saying that some of the things are very valid that vegans believe in, because some of the ways that those animals are treated are awful. But in the process, we have two different kind of ideas of food and morality and all of that. And yet we're both telling you the same thing. I don't want to step on anybody's toes either, but there's one thing that I know for a fact. If you eat what nature gives you naturally, you're going to be okay. It's really simple, but we make it complicated. If the thing has to be, if it has a bunch of steps from where they get it to your plate, then it's not good for you. And you need to avoid it as best that you can. And that doesn't mean you can't have some of that stuff, but the least amount you can have, the better. So I 100% agree. Eat real food, natural food, things that come from planet Earth, and you're going to be okay. And you eat bananas, pasta, and potatoes. Me too. And like I said, vape, man, it's all good. We got you. You're working on your grip strength before you start BJJ. That's good stuff, man. A couple things that I've done. You can buy a grip tester on Amazon. It's really cool. You squeeze it and it tells you how strong your grip is, Zeb, and that helps. But if you take a newspaper, I don't know if you get newspaper anymore, but if you take newspaper and you just ball up one piece of newspaper until it becomes like almost evaporates in your hand, and you just do that a couple of times a day, it'll really work on your grip strength. You can also just get tennis balls and squeeze them, or stress balls, or whatever. The more squeezy motion you're making a lot, you can also tie a weight to a rope and hold it out like this and roll the weight up, and that'll make your forearms stronger. Your grips come from your forearms. So those are some things that you can do to work on your grip strength. C-Dub, what do you say about Monday fasting 48 hours? Okay, C-Dub, what you said about missing Mondays and fasting for 48 hours. I'll start this. Hey, John, it helps. I'm telling you what, skipping that Monday, listen, if there's one bit of advice I would give somebody that's trying to lose weight, that's doing OMAD, is make it 6 days a week or even 5 days a week. And your weight's going to come off you. That 48-hour fast once a week helped me. It may be the reason I had the success that I did for so long. So many people hit me all the time and say they're in a plateau. And I'm like, well, I don't want to tell you, but fast for 48 hours once a week, and that plateau is going to get going. Hey, man, thanks for joining me. I know it's early in the morning for you. But I appreciate you popping in all the way from India, man. Appreciate you. So eat fruits or whatever you eat, and you win it. Yeah, I mean, I don't like to, hey, Julie, it's good to see you. I don't like to get on the whole telling people what to eat thing, man. It's just not my cup of tea. Although I would say avoid that Impossible Burger we talked about at the beginning of the show. So that's one thing to think of. Um, you live out in the country, so connection normally isn't very good. It's really bad. It's raining tonight. Yeah, well, hey, no problem, JC. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. Thanks for watching the replay tomorrow. You're amazing. Keep grinding. We love you. Thank you. What do I think about a 12-hour dry fast? I don't have a problem with it. I am as you guys know, I'm a part of the Fast Club fasting group on Facebook. And that group definitely does not promote fasting, dry fasting. They're really anti-dry fasting. And there are a lot of people out there that jump all over dry fasting and say that it's dangerous. I don't think that dry fasting can be very dangerous. I want to make that clear. But I don't think a 12-hour dry fast is all that dangerous. But I also don't think you should do a 12-hour dry fast every single day for a month. Unless you're doing Ramadan, which is a 12-hour dry fast every day. So there is some times when we do it. And the studies on Ramadan, if you ever look those up, people that have studied Ramadan say that Ramadan is actually very healthy for you. So maybe doing it for a month isn't the end of the world, but if you do it for years, it's probably not a good idea. But I think that dry fasting at least a couple of times a week or once a week can be very helpful. Remember that the studies say that a dry fast is 4 times as effective as a regular fast. So you're going to burn through things much quicker because your body it's in stress and it has to create its own water. So you don't really get dehydrated unless you're doing it every day because your body actually breaks down bad cells and turns them into water so that your body can stay hydrated. And if you see people that go on long-term fasts that are dry, like long-term dry fast isn't going to be like 7 days, but you know what I mean? If you go on a dry fast for 24 hours, you'll still pee because your body is breaking down cells and turning them into water. But doing it all the time probably isn't a good idea. I think adding a dry fast once in a while is fine. So I hope that answers your question. How many calories do I eat? I have no earthly idea. My next video is much requested. So you guys give me some love down in the comments. I got 8, maybe 9 meals, 8 or 9 meals. I'm going to show you each picture. I'm just going to run the pictures for about 15 seconds back to back to back. And I'm going to be talking here and you'll see the pictures here. And I'm going to tell you what I ate. I'm not going to add the calories up to every meal, but I'll kind of say, hey, this is why I ate this. This is what I think about this and give you an idea. So you guys are going to see 8 or 9 of my meals. That'll be coming up Friday. So that's my Friday video for you guys. So Friday morning, make sure you check that out. It's not going to be that long. It's going to be a pretty short video, but it's going to give you an idea of what I eat. I think I just basically eat till I'm done eating. I don't take too much into it. I think the only time you need to count calories is in the beginning and to make sure you're staying under your TDEE and you're not overeating. But I think most of us get full if you're only eating one meal before that's done. So what do I think about apple cider vinegar? I don't have a problem with it. I think it can help. Oh, thank you, Tattoo Vegan. You're amazing. Thank you for the super chat and the love. And thank you for all of your constant support on this channel. I can't say enough about you. I actually met her, just to let you guys know too, not even on this channel. I originally met her on the OMAD Man's channel, which a man passed away. But we met chatting in his chats, just like we're chatting here, in the comment section. And then she came over to my channel. I've always appreciated her and her support. Thank you again for the super chat. You're amazing, no doubt about it. But apple cider vinegar, you're good to go. A lot of benefits from it. I would eat it during my OMAD meal. I wouldn't have it in the morning, but you can if that's something you're into and something you do on a regular basis. I don't think there's a problem with it. Zeb, you want to do a dry fast, but you think you train too much for it to be safe. If you're going to dry fast, do it on a non-training day for sure, Zeb. Don't work out and dry fast on the same day. Not the best of idea. Tara, you just wrote Ramadan. I'm not sure if that was like yay Ramadan or like you didn't know what it was. If you don't know what it is, it's something Muslim people do 1 month of the year for religion. And, basically what it is they don't take any kind of food or drink from sunrise to sunset. So When it's light outside, there's no food, there's no drink. And they go through their whole day that way. And then once it gets dark, they drink and they eat as much as they want and they move on from there. I plan on doing Ramadan with Muslim faith this year, not because I'm Muslim, but because I think it's interesting and I want to try it. So I'm going to spend the whole month with them doing exactly what they do, except for I'm only going to eat once. I'm not going to eat the whole time it's dark. I'm just going to eat the one meal when it's dark and all of my drinking when it's dark. I'm going to go through that whole month. I'll keep you guys posted on the channel on what my weight is before, what my weight is after, how I feel, how much of a struggle it was. I probably won't talk about it during it. I'll just carry on my life normally. I might talk a little bit during like lives like today, but I'll do a video on the month and reviewing my month on Ramadan, which I think is going to be very, very educational for me. And, I think it'll be very interesting to see. You have a friend that asked me to help her do OMAD. Your personal OMAD. She lost 3 pounds. That man, she's so excited. Listen, Julie, I'm excited, and I'm excited you have somebody that you're helping out like that. That's amazing. It's recommended to dry fast twice a week. It's not mandatory. Hey, I did not know that, man. That is that. Thank you for dropping some knowledge on me. Twice a week. That's pretty cool. I really had no idea they did it more than just the month of Ramadan. That's interesting stuff. It's really interesting that even Christians were really into fasting before, the last 50 or 60 years. It's always been a huge part of the Christian faith. So that's pretty interesting. Caroline, glad to have you back. Thank you again, Tattoo Vegan. You are amazing. Thanks for saying I'm inspirational. I appreciate it, John. My family thought I was mad at first, asking me questions. Hey, listen, man, a lot of people think you're crazy when you start fasting. I'll tell you what, I can't tell you how many people thought that way about me, but a lot of those people that thought that way are really turning the corner, and a lot of them are more and more and more people that I know are getting into it because of me. So I think that's a good thing. Okay, so you're familiar with it. Well, that's good. I'm glad, man, that you're familiar with it. I think it'll be interesting again to see how that works out. I think that we used to be really in touch with the benefits of fasting in our history of man back in the day, but I think we've gotten away from that because I just think I think it's marketing. I think it's like anything else. Like, once television and radio found out that people would pay them money to put their products in front of them, then our world shifted in a giant way. If you think about before internet, before all that stuff, how big the world was. Think about take away TV, you take away radio, and think about how massive our planet is, how hard it was to communicate with somebody from California to Virginia or from California to England or Australia to anywhere in the United States, right? These people could not communicate. So the spreading word and being able to do things was very difficult. And so if you are manufacturing, some potato chip, let's just say, the people in your town know all about your potato chip. The people in your state may even know about your potato chip. People may come from all over the place and they may ride their horses for hours to pick up a bundle of potato chips once a month to take it back to their family. But they're not going to be able to get it at the level that we can now, that once marketing came into play and once we figured out how to use transportation a little bit better, and then we started to figure out how to use advertisements to get the product in front of people, and now it changes. So now coming out with the facts that, hey, we eat too much is just simply something that doesn't profit. And so it's much easier to maneuver our way around that, or to try to say, hey, what can we do to profit? And that goes back to the Impossible Burger that we were talking about at the very beginning of this, and the fact that tests showed some stuff that they didn't really want out. And so they terminated the tests, and still put the product out. And the reason behind those kind of things is because at the end of the day, they know that there's a lot of people in the world today that are going to say, I want to make the environment better. I don't want to eat animals. And Burger King is giving me an opportunity to still enjoy hamburgers. I'm going to go with them. And they know that there's millions of dollars to be made by that burger. And so what it affects on you doesn't really matter. The same way that they made margarine, the same way that they make all kinds of artificial sweeteners, that they modify the DNA of the sugar to make sure your body's recognizing it a little differently. All those things are unnatural to us. And when you're doing things that are unnatural, it's going to harm you. And if you go back to campaigning before all of that stuff, look at tobacco. And tobacco was campaigned as being healthy for you. And think about that craziness. Now we know how bad tobacco really is for you. So there's just a balance of people trying to make money. And that's why you got to be really careful as to what you're, doing out there. And I got another topic we can hit for the last few minutes here too, but let's go back through how many times, like you got 50. Don't know what that was in reference to. Ramadan is a piece of cake. I think I'm not going to struggle with it. I think I'm going to be okay. You say 30 likes gets a Pikachu. Nice try, Dub, but no, I needed 50. I needed 50 to throw Pikachu on, you guys. The other day you were talking about Ellen DeGeneres. Yeah, talking about fasting. She actually said, I have no time for that. There's no money in it. No, I mean, hey, look, that's the bottom line. That's what a lot of people are looking like. But ironically, I saw who was it on there? The Rachel from Friends. What's her name? Jennifer Aniston. I saw her talking on somewhere else about using intermittent fasting to keep herself in shape for her newest movie roles. And she said intermittent fasting was the reason why she looks the way she looks at whatever age she's at now. I think she's pushing 60. And she said intermittent fasting was the reason she did it. So it's getting out there, no doubt about it. You're on a weight loss journey. You started a couple weeks ago. You started with keto. Now you started doing OMAD. You're 72 hours into your fast. That's amazing, Tara. Good stuff. The weight loss journey is going to do great as long as you keep rolling with the OMAD and the keto. You're going to be good to go. No doubt about it. We're proud of you. You said happy wife, happy life. Yeah, I've definitely heard that one before a couple of times there, Randy. It's funny. I talk about my dad on this channel a lot, but my pops loves my wife more than he loves me. He's always like, "Don't mess things up with your wife." I'm like, I'm not gonna mess things up. I've almost half my life I've been with my wife. Almost half my life. I ain't going nowhere. So, but he's funny. He definitely is like, I don't know how you landed that one, but you got to keep it. Like, I got it, and see, she'll tell you right there, he loves me more than her. It's just the way it is. So, now the other thing I wanted to drop real quick, is that The Biggest Loser Reboot 2020, I did a whole video on that. If you haven't seen that video, but they did announce that they're, bringing Bob back to host it, which gives you some mixed feelings, because if you didn't know about the Biggest Loser show, they brought the people in, they had them exercise and lose a bunch of weight. And in the process of that, almost every one of them gained their weight back. And these people have had wrecked metabolisms and major problems in their life since leaving the show. So it was a little surprising to hear they're doing the show again. And then even more surprising that Bob is coming back, although he's not a trainer, because he could have put his foot down at any point and said, what we're doing these people isn't quite right. And he didn't. But what I found was interesting was the two coaches they brought in, and I don't have the names in front of me at this exact second, but both of them they're both influencers. They're both kind of YouTube and Instagram influencers. And so it'll be interesting to know, because that's not really a mainstream thing. So I'm going to be curious to see The Biggest Loser and see how they're going to change the show. And if these influencers are going to do it differently and have a better method to get these people in better shape, or is it just going to be the same train wreck it was before? And so when that comes out, it's on the USA Network in 2020. It didn't have an exact date, but when that comes out, I was thinking about also doing like a recap of that show. So maybe watching it live and then coming on after the show's off and getting with you guys and talking about the show or something of that nature. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know. It would be something you'd want to hear my breakdown of the show, what my thoughts were, what they're going through, what I thought the show was doing wrong or right during that episode, and how I feel about the contestants and what they're going through. If that's something you think would be dumb for the channel, let me know too. I just was kind of trying to figure out something that you guys may or may not like. So that's just my thoughts there. So you said you're trying and you like what? My wife literally just threw the Pikachu outfit on my feet, but I don't know about all that, guys. I don't know about all that Pikachu stuff, man. So thanks. She said if I want to get more likes, I better put on the costume. So you're trying, you guys. Great story to help many people out. Okay. So can you get intermittent fasting word without the Cincinnati Bengals, as they don't seem to be able to win anything lately? The Cincinnati Bengals aren't doing so well, no doubt about that. I don't know what to say about the Bengals or the Dolphins. Really, I'm a Giants fan, and we can't win football games either. So you don't think that's the Bengals' problem? Yeah, I don't think that's the Bengals' problem either. They got problems, but I don't think the Bengals are one of them. You'd love to hear my thoughts on veganism. Well, that's an interesting thing. I'll give you my thoughts on veganism, and I definitely will do that. And I was just looking over at this Pikachu thing to see if I really should put it on or not. But anyways, subject at hand. Veganism. I don't really necessarily have a opinion on it. This is okay. I'll put it to you this way. I think that veganism has its challenges, and if I say anything that's out of line or wrong, I expect that Tattoo Vegan checks me on it because she's obviously practicing it. But I don't think that necessarily veganism is 100% the healthiest way of doing anything, because there are a lot of issues with protein and things that you have to be able to adjust, but it is very adjustable. You have to be well read and well researched to understand exactly what needs to be done to make it as healthy as possible. If you're willing to do the research, put the time in, put the effort in to learn the real truth and what is healthy and how to get the proteins and things you need, then I think veganism can be very healthy for you. With that said, I think that anytime you're talking about your beliefs and how an animal is treated, I have no right to say that you're in the wrong. And if it bothers you the way that our system is set up and the way that animals are slaughtered, and therefore you want to lean towards something that is better for them, how could I ever say that that's wrong? I don't think that that's in my place to say. And I ultimately think at the end of the day, it is a fact that some of the way that they treat those animals are not only vicious, but not right. And so, absolutely, if those are your reasons for being a vegan, how could I ever say anything bad about it at all? At the end of the day, I put it in the same category. I put keto. I put it in the same category. I put carnivore. I put it in the same category. I put, paleo. I think all of them work. I think all of them are effective. I think if you're eating a standard American diet and you switch to any one of those diets, you're going to feel better. I think all of them are better than the way that we generally eat in the world today. And with that said, I think that none of them are necessary for you to lose weight. And I don't think any of them are necessary for you to have success, especially if you're doing intermittent fasting. But if you would like to do them, I think that you can do them. I think they're fine for you, and I think you can get it done. So if I said something wrong, hit me up, Tattoo Vegan. Let me know in the comments there. But ultimately speaking, do you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to lose weight for real on Twinkies and Butterfingers, you keep your calories good and you want to go that way. Would I sustain that long term? No, but lose weight. Get your BMI down. One last comment about that. It's a proven fact that people with a high BMI have higher risk for heart disease, for diabetes, for cancer, and for everything else in the world. BMI, your body mass index, how large you are, directly affects your health. Forget the health at every size movement. I just watched a lady doing yoga today that was probably 300 pounds, and she was doing things in yoga I could never imagine to do. And the headline was health at every size. See, this proves to you that you can be healthy. But is she healthy or is she strong? These are two different things here, and ultimately speaking, all of your markers can be good if you're overweight or morbidly obese. Everything you have can look good on paper. You can be running it as well as you possibly could, but deep down over the course of time, we're talking about here, not today, not how your body's reacting to being obese or morbidly obese today, but over time, it is going to catch up to you. And if you look at our elderly population, how many of those guys right now, 75% of all adults in our country are morbidly obese or overweight. 75%. How many 80-year-old, 90-year-old, 100-year-old people are overweight? It's not 75%. It's not even near it because they don't make it that far. So the bottom line is the health at every size thing. I don't know about. What I do know about is pick a diet. I don't care. Just get grinding. Intermittent fast, because that's proven time in and time out with all of those diets, it works. Get intermittent fasting. Get on a good protocol. And that's going to get your weight where it needs to be. Now I'm way back in the chat, and I apologize for that. I'm going to try to roll back a little bit and catch up. I got on a little bit of a rant, but you know what I'm saying? I had to. So, okay. You bought supplement vitamins and minerals in your bottle makes a big difference, would you say? I think that minerals and vitamins can certainly help, especially if you're eating in a deficiency, or if you're not getting good nutrition. If you're eating some things you probably shouldn't, but you're keeping your calories low, vitamins definitely can help you. Minerals, you need minerals. If you don't have them, you're going to struggle. So I definitely think it's there. Yeah, I saw Jennifer Aniston say she definitely intermittent fasts. Reese Witherspoon said she also did, but I also read that Reese Witherspoon drinks juice in the morning, juices, which really isn't intermittent fasting, but at the same time, I guess it is. And if she wants to call it that, more power to her, because it's bringing more attention to us. So, but yes, they both are into it, and a lot of the celebrity nation right now are definitely getting into it for sure. Celebrating the victory. I'm thrilled for Boss Lady too. She's definitely killing it. You weighed 188 from 205. That is amazing. Congratulations. You're killing it too. One day at a time. That's all you can do, Boss Lady. Keep grinding. Thank you for saying I'm nice, tattoo vegan. You're a sweetheart. We appreciate you so much. No doubt about it. Okay. Would you like to change your study plans and see if they really are giving you any nutrition? Not really. To be honest with you, I don't really find that. If I found out tomorrow that a plant-based diet was 3% better than what I'm doing now, which ultimately speaking, I think all the diets are right there with each other, right? It wouldn't change me. It wouldn't sway me. It wouldn't make me want to go that direction. I think intermittent fasting is the key. I don't think the diet is the key. And you can tell me different, no doubt about it, but I'm going to stick to intermittent fasting. I believe in it. I've gotten the results from intermittent fasting. I'm going to keep doing that. You know what I'm saying? Twinkie and Butterfingers are delicious. You got to admit that, Chubby Cop. But at the end of the day, man, you got to do what works for you. Hey, well, man, I'm excited to have you. Life Adventures of Keto, man. Thank you for joining us live. I appreciate you. You lost 78 pounds by adding 8 pounds of muscle, being a vegan and training at the gym. Charlie, that is amazing. Guys, turn it up for Charlie. 78 pounds and gain muscle. There's absolutely no doubt. One of the myths that people have is you can't gain muscle while being a vegan. That's not true. It's been debunked a million times. You can find tons of people on YouTube that have gained multiple, gain strength on it. You can argue that it's easier to gain strength another way. And maybe you can argue that, but you can't argue that you can't gain strength. That's a whole different argument, and I think that that's a false argument. So fasting, oh man, fasting is everything, man. I'm telling you what. And Charlie, look, I'm not trying to say that the vegan didn't help you and the weightlifting didn't help you, but the fasting helped you more. I truly believe that. And I think that all of us come from different backgrounds, but the one thing we all have in common right here in this weight loss warrior community is fasting. And fasting is the most important part of the equation. How do you manage OMAD on vacations? I just eat one meal. That's what I'm doing on my vacations. I'm going to Vegas. I'm going to be hanging out with Reg Edited. I mentioned that earlier. We're going to have a great time out there. I'm probably going to dinner with Reg. She's not on right now, but I'm pretty sure my wife and her boyfriend will all get together. We'll go out. We'll eat dinner. I'm probably going to eat dinner out every single night on doing OMAD on vacation, but I'm just going to eat once. I hope that answers your question. And, I'm not going to worry about it. And if I gain 3 pounds from vacation, I'll fast a couple days when I get back and be back to normal. No problem at all. I'm going to enjoy the vacation. I'm not going to hop off the regimen. Last thing I want to say about that, though, is if you go on vacation and you want to hop off. What's the worst case you can do? Vacation, gain 5 pounds from it and come back and get back to your OMAD, and the weight will be off you in 2 weeks. So what? Enjoy your vacation. You don't have to commit every day of your life just because C-Dub does, but you do have to commit 99% of your life. I hope that makes sense. Let me go back. I missed something. Okay. You said no worries. You're not giving anything, busy life. Yeah, pick your own diet, 100% Tattoo Vegan. How do you respond to someone in the comments and tag their name in it? You know what? I guess you put @ and then their name, but I'm not 100% sure. Hopefully they can help you out on that. Yeah, you just tap @ in their name. The only person that can tag you in color. I don't know how to do that. I know later too, at some point I have I'll have a join button on my channel. I don't know exactly how many subscribers you have to get that. I think it's 10,000. But when you get the join button, people can join your channel and then they pay, I think $5 a month is what YouTube has them pay. And they get benefits. And one of the benefits is they actually get different emojis to be used, and then I can send things like postcards to them and do all kinds of other things, private videos for those members. But in the process of that, they'll be able to do more things in the chat than non-members. So in the future of the channel, I think you'll see during my lives a wide variety of the way people can communicate with each other depending on who is a member and who isn't a member, if that makes sense. But I don't know a whole lot about that. YouTube, I'm less than a year into it, so I don't really know. Usually you do 20, but sometimes you do OMAD. That's good stuff. Whoa, I scrolled too much again. Okay. Let's see. Charlie said, thank you very much for kicking the butt without hurting animals and making me proud of my actions. For sure, fasting was the key. Look, hey, that's it. If that's your goal, Charlie, and again, this is what I was trying to say 100% earlier today, is he has something in mind. He wants to get better, wants to get stronger, wants to lose weight, and he doesn't want to hurt animals in the process. Why in the world would I ever say that's a bad thing? And that's just it. 100%. So, you've got to kind of figure that out. People that have a problem with that or want to throw their diet and say it's better than vegan, that's a personal choice. More power to you, man. Okay, when you said your name was Chris Wyatt and you're into wrestling, my first thought about you was Bray Wyatt. Funny story, John. That's not how I spell my last name, but it is my last name. I spell it with an I. And I work in school suspension, and I had a student come in and hear my name and found out I was a wrestling coach. And he came up to me and he said, "Are you related to Bray Wyatt?" And so I told him, I'm like, "Yeah, man, that's my brother, right?" And so this kid freaks out and he leaves my room and he comes back and he goes, "You're lying." I'm like, "No, I'm not lying." And he says to me well, I looked him up online and is he married? And I said, "Yeah." And now I'm totally guessing right now. I'm like, "Yeah, he's married." And he was like, "Really?" And he kids? And I'm like, "Yeah, he has 2 daughters." I have no idea. Right. And he's like, "Oh my God, you know what? Oh my God." And he's freaking out. And so then later on in the year, I get a group of kids back there and they're whispering and pointing at me and everything. And they're like, I'm like, "What's going on?" They're like, "We were just wondering if we could meet your brother." And I was like, "What?" And they were like, "Bray Wyatt." And they were like, "What's his name?" Told us. And then I felt stupid because I didn't really think the kid was believing me like that. But it turns out I knew how he was married and I knew he had 2 kids too, knew the right sexes of the kids. So they bought into that for a while. It took me like a whole nother year to explain that I wasn't related to Bray Wyatt, but they thought that I was for sure, man. No doubt about it. You wish you could talk to you more personal, maybe someday. At any rate, thanks for your time, sir. Hey, listen, you can DM me on Instagram. I don't know, if you really need me on a telephone, I can probably make it happen. But I don't mind that. I do eventually maybe have the time to get into coaching, but right now I don't really got just too much building channels and all of that stuff. But if you need some help and you feel like you need to turn to somebody, I'm here for you. So just DM me on maybe Instagram, send me a tweet on Twitter or whatever, and let me know how to get a hold of you, and I'll figure out a way to talk to you. I'm not going to turn my back on you. If you need help, I'm going to try my best to help you. A lot of people have reached out to me on DM, and I get back to him. John, if he's still on, can tell you he's DM'd me a couple of times and asked me some stuff, and I took care of him and helped him out. So I'm here to help you guys. Don't feel like I'm not. So you said thanks. Okay, we got through that. No problem. You have a great night, DB. We appreciate you. She's an amazing lady right there. She supports all of the fasting family for sure. Is it bad because our body needs meat? Yeah, but you can figure out ways around that. You can figure out ways around what that needs to do. All right. So, anyways, okay, let's not get in an argument over whether or not, if the person's personal choice is to skip that, just let them skip it. It's all good, man. You don't have to feel like you got to force your beliefs, because you feel like they need it on somebody. It just really isn't a big deal, man. So let me go ahead and move on from that. I am from London, and you watch football. Yeah, a football player who went vegan because he didn't want. Yeah, I mean, look, dude, people all the time do it. Personal choice for sure. And quick fix, I had to block you because it just feels like you're trying to argue there. Hope you're still watching. If you want to DM me because you need help, DM me because you need help. If you want to DM me to tell me why people need to eat meat, I eat meat. You're talking to the choir. Don't. There's no reason to go there. It's their personal choice not to. Good for them. I love them all to death. I'm going to help them and support them. You should do the same. Throwing your opinion out there about their lifestyle isn't really something that, for me, I feel like is a good thing to do. So, learn to let go, my friend. 2 years from now, you'll be in the UFC at this rate. Hey, listen, Charlie, funny thing to hit you with real quick, as we're a little bit into this now. But prior to being in school suspension, I ran a mixed martial arts cage fighting company. It's called Cage Fest. You can probably look it up. You can probably Google it and find some Cage Fest results. I had a lot of UFC guys fight in my event. Tommy Spears fought in the event. I actually am the one that got Mackin Simizier into the UFC. He fought in my events first. I not only was he an amateur through me. Thank you, Omad Caroline. I appreciate you, man. You are the best. Love you to death. Mackin Simizier came up through my cage fighting promotion, and I turned him pro. He was an amateur there. And then I turned him pro, and he had a few pro fights, and then he went into the WEC and then into the UFC. And now he actually owns an MMA school in Virginia Beach. So I've always been in MMA. Both of my kids do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I coach high school wrestling. So I'm big time into it, man. And that's awesome that you're into that. But, and look, I do want to comment on this real quick because, you said occasional meat is fine. It's better if you catch it and slaughter it yourself. I want to say that there is absolutely unequivocally no doubt that you're right. If you catch it and you do the killing, it is much better. I know that sounds brutal, but it is much better than having it processed and go through all the stuff that it goes through. And it's actually better for the animal too. I know that, a lot of people don't want animals to die, but if you're going to do it, hunting it yourself is much better way of doing it. It's also more nutritious and all that stuff. But again, that's for a whole nother, topic, because if people don't believe that should happen to animals, then more power to them, man. I got their back. And then if you eat meat, I got your back too. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to say I ride the fence and, I play both sides, and say it. But I don't feel like giving people opinions like that is the right thing to do, for sure. Show show them the money. Thank you, John, man. I appreciate it. Like I appreciate OMAD Caroline. OMAD Caroline is amazing. So no doubt about that. All right. Let's see. It just popped up like 5 here. The last 50 videos you watch are all of your CW. Man, thank you so much for saying that. I appreciate it, John. I can't believe I've cranked out so many videos in a year. And again, Friday, I got, who's not excited, guys? 8 or 9 meals. 8 or 9 meals coming your way Friday. That's going to be exciting. I'm going to continue to make them 5 or so days a week and get rolling out. I have not filmed Saturdays or Mondays yet, so that gives you some leeway. I have 2 or 3 video ideas, but if you need a video, drop it in the comments when this thing gets published later tonight, and I will consider making that one of my videos if you have a question or if you have something you want. But I do got the one tomorrow on I've got 8 meals loaded, and I took a picture of tonight's meal. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised to see exactly what it is, a kind of what a week would look like. And it's interesting because, looking back at it too, it's almost less than I would have thought. So when I show you the pictures, I think you'll get a better idea of how I used to eat much more than this when I first started OMAD, but it just tapers down over time. You think it's amazing that you have a country when you have a choice to eat. Many people in the world want something to eat. No, you're Nancy. You're 100% right about that too. There are so many people that really know what being hungry is like, and we think we're hungry, and so many people really can't even fathom what a diet is because they just want to eat anything they can get their hands on. Used to slaughter over 70,000 turkeys a day, 3,000 hogs. It's awful. Well, hey, no, I can fully understand that. I'm going to tell you the closest I ever came to stop eating meat was this thing, and I don't know if any of you guys would have seen this back in the day, but there used to be I used to have a video store down the street from me, and they used to have these videos. You go there and rent the videos back in the 90s and 80s, and the video was called Faces of Death, and it would show real life clips of people dying. Which, why would a kid want to watch that? I have no idea, but I did. I would rent it, and they showed the slaughtering of animals, and all you had to do was watch that one time, and I knew that if I saw it more often, I would be right there with other people. And you can call it a coward, but some of the stuff they do was just crazy. And then, I've shied away from it since then because I don't want to think about it. That makes me a coward. It makes me a coward. But some of the stuff they do is crazy, no doubt about it. But whole nother thing. How many calories do I intake? Herschel, my guess is under 2,000, 1,500 to 2,000. Back and forth, don't really know. I have not seen that there, Charlie. C-Dub, watching you're live. 12-hour work, a 12-hour security guard shift, and your boss knew you'd be out the door. Yeah, 12 hours in security, man. That's tough. I got to watch a lot of security videos today. It was interesting. Not that I can really talk about it, but I've never really sat down and switched between videos like I got to do today. It was pretty cool. But guys, it is approaching an hour and a half, and I got to get rolling. So I appreciate each and every one of you for joining me tonight. Please, if you got a video idea, you can drop it down below. If you got a comment for next week or a question for next week, drop it down below. When you're hopping in the chats, just remember to be respectful of each other and each other's beliefs, because not all of us are from the same. It's not a channel that particularly says one thing is superior to another. So if your opinion is something's more superior, keep it to yourself. John, thank you so much for hitting me up with $5 right there, man. You are the man. Thank you for the super chat. I love you, John. I appreciate you guys. Go over to John's channel and check him out, guys. I'm going to quickly glance through and make sure I'm not missing anything majorly important here. But yeah, do what? No, I'm okay. So you remember Faces of Death. God, that was just such a terrible thing to watch. But I definitely rented them. No doubt about it. Back in the day. I bet I could find them somewhere on Netflix or something, but I don't think I'd want to watch it again. But thank you guys. Look, those of you that are celebrating tomorrow, Halloween, be safe. Have a good time. I'll be taking my boys out on a walk, catching them steps. Tomorrow, there will not be a video popping up, but we will have a video coming in tomorrow. And okay, so we'll have a video coming out on Friday, and I'll be able to show you what I ate for 8 days. I'm excited about that. I appreciate all of you. It's good to see you again this week. You know, right here, if you're watching the replay, that's my face. Click on it and subscribe to the channel. Help me grow, please. I'd like to get the word out there and save as many people's lives as I can. I appreciate all of you, and I will catch you Friday. Thank you so much. I'm out of here. Peace.